Very good. Welcome back. Being the last day of April 2025, April is done and dusted. We are happy for that. And we thank God so far. It has been a long month for that matter, but here we are. As we come to the end of it, I want to take a look at what is happening really on the political segment. And the most important thing is also the finance bill is here, and cabinet made certain amendment yesterday, although we are still yet to get more details of what's in that paper. But as it is, we have something to talk about as Kenyans. So that is coming up shortly. And in studio, I have Wakili Peter Wasaga, who is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. It's good to specify. You could be an advocate of the High Court of somewhere. But Kenya sounds well. Karibu sana, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been long.
Yes, but we are here.
We are here.
You're well?
I'm well. Asante.
Thank you. And when you see Dr. Evelyn Ogendo, just know that things are just about to go down. I don't know, but yes. Are you fully armed? You're okay?
I'm just good.
All right.
I'm just fine.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And next to her is a gentleman who is not new to Jerusalem. Mwalimu Sosion.
Yes.
Karibu.
Always a teacher, Victor.
Asante sana. We are here. All right. So let me start. I don't know. Let me start with the front page of the local dailies. Let me start with the Star. Ruto to slash billions in key budget freeze. That is what's on the front page of the Star newspaper. Travel expenses, office supplies targeted in the cuts. Of course, now we still have, that's what's on the splash of the Star newspaper. Ruto to slash billions in key budget freeze. More details, of course, not yet published fully, but that's what's on the front page of the Star newspaper. And still here, you can see how many gentlemen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one iron lady. We all know who she was called. The only during Kibaki's cabinet. Evelyn.
The Nusu era.
Yes.
When I look at that picture, I just realize, I don't know who is doing badly, whether the women were doing badly or we are not up to the game. But that picture shows a lot about our country, Kenya, because most of those leaders who are there, who have been, some of them have previously been leaders. They all are more from, I don't know. I would like a leader. I think for Dr. Matiang'i in the picture is the one who is new in the political arena.
Yeah.
So he's the one who has a fresh blood. And all others, according to me, they have a bit of qualms that they need resolved.
What stops them? What stops the women leaders in the country to join the group?
What stops them.
Yeah.
I think women, this what we undergo silent, I don't, for lack of a better word, humiliation or kind of, we are belittled in a way, in that I think even the Iron Lady is there because previously she has featured in the Kibaki government. So other women have not been tested, have not been given an opportunity to be tested and to belong in some of the strong
It's an open field. Nobody's belittling women.
Everybody says that. You know, somebody says like, it's open, let's go look for the seats. And then you are going to look for a member of parliament. A woman is so intimidated. A woman is told things that humiliate her by the men. The men are the ones who are humiliating us.
Okay,
Yes.
just hold that thought. Okay, just hold that thought. Let me go on the front page of the Standard. Unmoved by bloodshed. That is what's on the front page. We have got 4 gentlemen here, of course, led by the president. That is Kipchumba Murkomen, CS Interior. That is Chief of Defense Forces, and of course, Chief Police Boss. And this is about the Let's talk about what's the explainer here on the front page, even as the nation reels from a damning expose revealing extrajudicial killings during last year's Gen Z protest. It now says that fresh reports have emerged of police firing live bullets as residents protesting an alleged land grab in Narok. Of course, a police head was there. Kanja was there yesterday, and a lot of changes took place. Rights groups now question whether President William Ruto and his security chiefs grasp the constitutional duty, chief among them, the protection of life. Okay, that's the story about the bloodshed, not the bloodshed per se, but the chaos that erupted over the weekend in Transmara. CS Mutua's Qatar police job fiasco. That is what is here. CS Mutua's Qatar police jobs fiasco. Already there is a figure, and I don't know how true this is, and this last year, Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua told a forum attended by President Ruto that Kenyans would secure jobs as police officers in Qatar. Job seekers have to be paying 250,000 shillings. And so there is a back and forth. And still on the front page, the same picture I showed you, Daktari, is still also on the front page of the Daily Nation. All of them. Let me just count again. Probably, I need to be so sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And Martha Karua in the middle. But there is something to it, Mwalimu Sosion. If I would ask you, if you look at this photo, the formation, I know you are privy to body language and this, you are so much aware about this. The formation, whenever a photo is being taken, see where Dr. Mukhisa Kitui is and where Dr. Matiang'i is, all right? In that arrangement, and of course we see Justin Muturi right behind there. Was this deliberate? And now you see Eugene Wamalwa on this, and Rigathi Gachagua next to Martha Karua.
I think.
Was it meant to confuse?
I think Victor.
It's called the visual hook.
I think, Victor, you are taking us unnecessarily to analyze an inconsequential picture of inconsequential characters.
I'm just trying to.
For it to be on the front page.
I'm just trying to.
For it to be on the front page.
The media can, the media can make it even a splash, depending on how they.
Remember, it's on the first page.
But allow me my opinion. Okay. This is my opinion. Inconsequential in that language.
Really?
So there's nothing to discuss about it. Those guys are having tea. They're enjoying themselves. They're not anywhere near Kenyans.
Okay. Wakili, what do you see here? It is inconsequential. That is his opinion, he says.
Thank you so much. I see a group that is very determined to topple President Ruto.
Yes.
I see great leaders of this country. But one thing is very apparent, that they are the same faces. We have been seeing over and over again. They have been given platforms, they have not delivered. Daktari here singled out Matiang'i as the better version.
Fresh blood.
Fresh blood. To me, if I was to rank them in terms of very dangerous people who should not be given any opportunity to ascend to any leadership position, Matiang'i would be number one, because he actually oversaw very serious killings during his reign. Remember the 2017 election, Baby Pendo. For most of us who come from Nyanza, we have very sad memories of those days. Bodies being picked at Rivayala.
This I have to clarify. These are allegations.
Okay.
These are allegations.
There are allegations that are in the public domain, and at that time, he was the one in charge of that docket. The same thing, you see Kipchumba Murkomen, the current CS, has been pictured as one of those leaders who are numb to bloodsheds. It's because he is in charge, and as if you are in charge, we expect you to take charge within the confines of the Constitution. Article 26 of the Constitution, right to life, can only be overridden pursuant to the Constitution. The right to life, they are to what extent it can be limited. But what we are seeing today is a blatant violation of that right without the due process. If there is a thief, don't shoot the thief. Have the thief prosecuted, a case is made against him, a judgment is entered, and then he can face the consequences under the penal code. So if you asked me about Matiang'i, he is as guilty as charged based on his position, the position he held during the Uhuru government, and we also. Same thing with, then the other thing I need to mention, most of those politicians are rejects.
Who is a saint?
Let me.
Who is a
They
saint?
are rejects.
I'm
Who is
of
a
a
saint?
contrary opinion.
And
Just before we get there, Doctor, who is a saint then? Because all of us have.
Who is an angel?
We also have, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much. There is no angel, there is no saint, but there is the Constitution. Everything you do must be judged in accordance with the Constitution. If you blatantly violate the Constitution, like what we have seen the politicians do, most of them, it's not a matter of who is a saint and who is not a saint. The law governs all of us and no one is above the law. So that every action should be done pursuant to the Constitution. Victor, there is one habit that Kenyans should really desist from. We normally vote in reaction to the current government.
Yes.
So that we do not want to really question those who are vying for these positions. Our concern is let him finish and go. Then we bring the same characters and also chase them, let them finish and go. The same Gachagua was in this government. Today, he appears to be the one who is leading the bandwagon. If you asked me, it is the same thing. They will get into government, assuming they are elected. They will also tell us about
Just to be open, politics is an open field.
It is an open
And there is
field.
no retirement age.
We agree there is no retirement age.
Right.
But as much as there is no retirement age, we have to also look at competence. We have to also look at your past records. We have to look at your past pronouncements. You cannot be saying A today, then immediately you leave the government, which you resisted leaving, then you talk the contrary. We must be very honest with our politicians. A time has come that we must look for leaders who will advance the interest of the electorates. It's not about just changing. It's better we have a government, and that is not drumming support for President Ruto. It's better we have a government that is fixing things than having a government that will take us to where Ruto and Gachagua took us in the beginning by blaming the previous government for 2 years. Then before when they realized it was too late, they now have a lot of baggage to deal with. That is the same thing that we are looking at.
Dr.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a different opinion from Wakili's opinion, in the sense that is singling out on, and my analysis is not based on for or against. It's just a neutral analysis that I would wish to make, in the sense that all that group that is there, except Dr. Matiang'i, he has never been a member of parliament. He has never been a politician. And when you relate him or link him to what happened, it was not a good occurrence though, but it directly cannot be linked into what happened during the crisis.
Yes.
It cannot directly be linked into that. And number two, all those leaders who are there, all of them, time to time, they have been given opportunities to lead, and they have failed. And according to me, I am not despising them or I'm not accepting them, but they have not told the common mwananchi what they are offering to us.
Yeah.
Because currently we are complaining about the high cost of living. We are complaining about health. We are complaining about so many things. The Kenyans are complaining about so many things. And then all we see is groupings and regroupings. And then none of the leaders is telling us that what are they going to inject? How different leaders are they going to be? That is what Kenyans want to listen to. You see, now it's a bit early. They will regroup. They are going to disagree, agree. They are going to do so many things that until next, 1 week even in politics is such a long time.
Yeah.
Things change. So I cannot really say that that group is the one. We don't even know whether they're looking for jobs. Are they looking for their own jobs? Because most of them, they are those ones who are so agitated by the president. They have qualms, they have issues. They have differed with the president before. So are they up to revenge with the president, or do they want to serve Kenyans better? So when I see them with one lady, and then looks like the team is enclosed,
yeah,
and all of them, so Kenyans are a bit confused. Are you looking for jobs, or do you want to serve Kenya?
I think
and if you want to serve Kenyans,
this is a time that somebody
towards
would say,
which line? Towards which line?
Somebody will say that Martha Karua anajituma.
Si ati kujituma. There are so many people who can. It's just vested interest that they do not want to open up the leadership arena. This is there are a team that is has an issue, has a crisis with the president, and then so we don't know as Kenyans. We do not know. Are they going there to revenge to the president, or are they going there to make sure the cries of the Kenyans they are attended to, their tears are wiped? So that's why I said I'm not saying that Dr. Matiang'i is the best, but according to me, he has never been in politics before. So if there are any lies, and he has not been politically tried anywhere. So these others, all of them have been tried and failed, and others have been dropped out, others have dropped by themselves, and others have not measured up to the expectations of the positions they have been given. So how about that? Because they have been serving Kenyans. What difference are they going to give us? That's why Kenyans are so afraid to deal with old faces. That's why they are so afraid. Because we do not know whether they are trying to revenge to the president. We do not know whether they have the Kenyans in their mind, whether they want to come. They are not telling us anything about the high cost of living. What policies are they going to initiate to make sure that we have a better living?
Doctor, in politics, time is a factor.
Time is a factor, but they are grouping without telling us where they are grouping, what their agenda is. We should know their agenda.
You use the correct word, they are groupings, so they're still coming together. Probably
let them come together and give us the agenda, and the agenda had better be based on the citizens' needs.
He's been in politics actively, and you know the intricacies of being in politics and planning and timing and all that behind the scenes. They are given their opinion. What's your opinion, sir?
They've given their opinion, but I said, all what I'm seeing here is extremely inconsequential, and that's a political statement born out of experience of many years. Yeah, because if you look at all these individuals, Gachagua impeached, Karua, she keeps rebranding her party so that she looks, all of them have got histories of failures. And I think as a country, we should not divert the attention of the country from the transformational agenda, which is here, not for 5 years, but for 10 years. I think we should focus more in ensuring that the farmers reap optimum benefits from their hard work, and farmers are fully supported. That's a big thing. And we've seen tremendous transformation in this sector, and work is not complete. It is not finished. It must be finished. Can this group of people really do anything within the agricultural sector? What agenda do they have within this space? Are they coming to do anything different more than what the president is doing? we must strengthen the MSMEs, continue strengthening the ICT infrastructure in the country, and opening up avenues for youth in this country to access opportunities. We must focus in delivering the housing model in this country. It is a real game changer in transforming the human settlement and availing decent housing to young Kenyans, young families going into the future. UHC, we've talked about it, and the Kenyans deserve the right to quality health care. And overall, we need to implement all the provisions in the Constitution within the Bill of Rights. And we think the President is doing just that. This group of inconsequential failures cannot divert the attention of the nation from focusing on what needs to be done for the people of Kenya. There's a time for everything. So election date will come in 2027.
With this one,
bring none.
This is consequential.
In fact, allow me.
Just a question. If this
allow me, Daktari here.
Then just a clarity as you also continue. If this is consequential, then what would be an alternative as we head towards election? Because there would be an opposition and the ruling and the cabinet, or not cabinet, and the government of the day.
We can't have the alternative when we have a government that is completing its first term and it's headed for the second term. And of course, we've established a broad-based government. Yeah. And we have two great leaders who have teamed up. They're not looking at politics, they're looking at the future of the country. Grand statesmen, President William Ruto and Raila Odinga. This other group cannot go anywhere if Raila is not in this team or if Ruto is not part of this team. So these are neophytes. These are babies in diapers who still have to learn how to crawl and walk. And I think when Evelyn here is trying to say Matiang'i is a saint, you can't say Matiang'i is a saint when he has been a minister in government for 10 years, superintending very serious ministries and committing serious atrocities, right from education to the security sector. And this is a total failure. You shouldn't even
I think
move anywhere near Kenyans. So I think Victor,
Victor, allow me to defend my statement, please.
Yes.
This picture should not waste the minds of Kenyans' time. And we will have more pictures of a big assembly of failures.
But then these are national leaders. In however much you would want to disparage them or to belittle them.
No, but you see,
these are national leaders.
No, Victor, allow me to have my statement of opinion, and it is my personal statement.
Okay.
It is Victor. None of...
Fine.
Nobody's Let me defend my statement. When I was giving my analysis of the team of leaders, I did not say that Dr. Matiang'i is an angel or is a saint. I said he has not tried politics before. When it comes to politics, I think it is his first time, it is fresh, and the others, they have been tried, that the part we agree, they have been tried and failed. And then number two, Honorable Sosion talked of him failing in his docket. I think I really disagree with that. When he was in ICT, we saw very great changes. Kenyans complained the first time, but they later realized that is what they needed to move to the next level. And then when you come to the Ministry of Education, when he left, he was missed for so long. He put systems in place because parents were being under, there was a lot of embezzlement of funds, especially from the national schools. He brought sanity to the national schools that were overpricing the fees, that they were taking hongos. You know, they made a poor child to go to any national school. Any poor child can go. You know, what I want to, I don't want us to use the politics temperature to bring him down and not to accept that he really brought great changes when he was in ICT and when he was in education. So we cannot just dismiss him.
Okay, let's just take a quick break and we come back. I'll circle back. Of course, I'll give you a moment to finalize on that. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Tumeipata, si tumeipata huku chini.
And welcome back. Very good. So, Dr. I'll give you 1 minute to finalize your statement.
Yeah, I do not want us to speak in an absolute manner. And let's talk like it's an opinion. But I don't think there's any leader, I would say, who is in any docket even right now that you can say is perfect. There's no perfect person, and there are things that are out of control. You could be a minister of interior, but there are things that are out of control. Look what was happening, the people being killed in the quarry. Can you target on Honorable Murkomen? Are you going to target on him? You're not going to do that because this department is made of, this docket is made of so many departments. A junior may have failed somewhere. Okay, fine, you are the boss, but some junior failed somewhere. I saw them others being deployed elsewhere. I saw others being taken back to the head office. That is as a step of the aftermath of what had already happened. But can you per se tag all these things to the interior minister? No. So that's why I'm saying, let us not pinpoint and talk like it's obsolete when you say this leader failed, this leader did this in relation with the...
What are we likely to see? This is a question to all of you. What are we likely to see now that moving forward? We are halfway the journey to 2027. What are we likely to see? Mususion.
We are going into 2027.
Yeah.
The country will get more organized. And I think trying to read alternatives and options of a government ahead of 2027 is not right. It's too early. We still have almost 2.5 years to go. And those who want to organize themselves are free to do so. They are granted under Article 38 of the Constitution. But already, we've seen very clear signs. The opening up of the broad-based government by the president to ensure inclusivity, and he has done it in real terms. And no president has ever gone to the space of opening up government broadly across communities the way the president has done. This is when president was broken the ceiling in terms of ensuring inclusivity, fairness, and justice. And Kenyans are going to continue feeling these results. And as you can see, the president has managed to fix the macroeconomic challenges of the country. Yet Kenyans may not be feeling immediately the benefits of the same, but going forward, the microeconomic aspects of the economy will begin falling in place, and Kenyans will continue feeling. By 2027, elections will be about merit and ability to deliver. And there is no secret. Anybody who is even a blind man can see without glasses the great and tremendous effort that the president is making in the economic scene, in the political scene, in various social sectors, locally and internationally, and in trying to bring our economy under good control and for the benefit of Kenyans and for inclusivity of all. And so, going into 2027, this group will fall by the wayside because Kenyans started voting on the basis of merit in previous elections, and they will do so going into the future. It will not matter who you are. And an incumbent president, for that matter, it is not very easy to bring, particularly when these weaklings who have got chest of skeletons, bones in their chest of skeletons, very serious ones, come around and pretend to be bringing some salvation to the country. It is something that will be dismissed before sunrise on the election day.
Okay.
So going into 2027, the broad-based arrangement of the president and Raila Odinga will continue getting strong in this country. It will continue yielding significant results, and will continue witnessing great transformation of the economy,
Okay.
and that of the country.
Let's hear from Wakili. Same question. What are we likely to see?
You see, what happens today,
I'm not harsh.
there is comradeship. A comradeship are a group of individuals who are joined together, not with a common interest, but to fight a common enemy. Those leaders you see there, they have been hurt in one way or the other, and they are coming together. It's not for any, they have not given us any agenda. You can see, and the former deputy president has clearly put it, that their main agenda is taking Ruto home. Having said that, it's also important to note that the current regime is not anything better. And the only thing that we lack is a formidable force to actually give an alternative. Because one, if you tell me the broad-based government is working, it's laughable. Because number one, when you look at the broad-based government, the president has said in so many occasions, not once, not twice, that former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has actually anchored his government. Politics in Kenya is ethnicized. So that when we go to elections, communities come together. You see the Central, the Rift Valley, they unite. You know what happens in Kenya.
Yes.
And normally it's very much contested, so that it is 50 against 50, or 50 against 49. It's 50 plus 1 vote. So like in the last election, the difference was only 200,000 votes. So when Gachagua left, it's presumed, not even presumed, but could be seen that the support base that was brought into the Kenya Kwanza, that made it 50 plus 1, had significantly reduced. And this had to be replaced. And the only person to replace it was someone with, so if it means that if Gachagua was to join Raila, then it could mean that Raila would be having 75%. Or let's be fair, let's give Gachagua even 20%. Raila will be having 49 plus 20 Gachagua, that will be 60%. And 60% against the ruling government, that will not work. So that's why the political leaders must look for each other, especially the government, must look to always maintain the majority. So the majority that is maintained here is just for political convenience. Anything can happen. In politics, a day can bring so many changes. So we are likely not to have even this broad-based government in 2017 because they are basically, you've had most of the time, they differ in ideologies. You see Orengo, you see Anyang' Nyong'o, you see Edwin Sifuna.
But could that be a political tactic?
Well, it could be a political tactic, but then one fundamental question is that what ideology formed ODM?
Okay.
And what was the ideological move by the Kenya Kwanza? Is it there something that can be sustained going forward to 2017? If it can be sustained, then we are likely to see a government that will be able to maybe go past that. And is it a government per se? It's basically individuals who would come together to get power. And that is politics. And they'll do it not because of any ideological similarities, but they'll be doing it for their own political goals. And of course, to just get to power. And after ascending to power, new coalitions will be formed. And in 2032, you will get new coalitions and very many fragmentation from these political parties. So even before 2017, we are not very sure that the individuals that you've seen in that photo would run on the same ticket or would run in the same coalition.
Allow me to invoke a certain name here. Daktari said that, was it you, Daktari? That this formation will not go anywhere unless Raila Odinga is here.
It's Honorable Osion.
Yes, Osion. What do you make of that, Wakili?
You see, like I told you, like I said earlier, politics in Kenya is ethnicized. And it's also regional based.
Yes.
And then it also collates around very powerful individuals who have mastered cultic following in this country. So that the demonstrations stopped because Raila joined forces with Ruto. And so with that joining, when he joined the government, that quelled the tension in the Nyanza region, his support base in the coast. And that automatically killed the demonstrations. So Raila is a formidable force, Ruto is a formidable force, and definitely Uhuru was a formidable force. Because you acquire political force by actually working for it. not just, you're not given that political force. You have to work for it. So Raila has worked for it over time, and he has gained the following of all his supporters, and you can see he calls shots, and those shots are very accurate.
Now that it is Mwalimu who said that it would not go anywhere. So what if Raila joined them? Would you still say that it's still inconsequential?
We don't talk of ifs. We are very empirical in what is happening. And I've been in this space of Raila Odinga and William Ruto for a long time myself. We were in Kibaki in 2002. We were in the referendum together with Ruto and Raila and Kalonzo and the entire group and Uhuru in 2005. We were strongly in Raila in 2007, led by William Ruto, when we took Raila across villages in Rift Valley and gave him an M. In 2013, of course, those of us who believed in stopping Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto from getting to The Hague and other things and unifying the country, supported their ticket. I supported Raila in 2017. I'm the only Secretary General who signed an MOU to support NASA, and I've been in that space. And we were in elections in 2022, pitting two great men, William Ruto and Raila Odinga, who have the same political background and sharing almost similar political shades. And that experience has been a lesson to the two of them and to all of us who operate within that axis. Kenya is greater than our interest, than the personal interest of William Ruto and than the personal interest of Raila Odinga. And it's like people are taking time to understand this, including these groups who are coalescing, plus their sponsors. So the broad-based government that has brought Raila Odinga and William Ruto together is not going to expire tomorrow, neither is it going to expire in 2027. It is even going to be part of the 2027 election agenda. That's a fact for sure. And it is going to take the country beyond 2027 because transformation of the country cannot wait anymore. It has to be done now, not tomorrow. So 2027 is not going to be, is not going to sway that great focus for the country.
Okay.
And when it comes to mobilizing, let me ask you, of late, who among all these leaders have you seen interacting and meeting the people across the country and communicating to the people directly, other than Raila Odinga and William Ruto? These ones, we see them in cup of tea, press conferences,
but we can all see.
And
we can all
some little Sunday services, but they can't organize meetings of their own across the country. Those who are trying, they're doing it within their villages. Kenya is not a village. Kenya is expansive, and it even includes the diaspora. And so people must be open-minded. Transforming the country is not a child's play.
Okay.
So these ones, let them continue enjoying being in diapers, and somebody will supply them with some Cerelac to make them grow.
But I think we
don't
just
expect much.
We expect a lot of political formations and a lot of political movements, even as we head towards election, because that is the nature of politics in Kenya. Many people are going to come together, many coalitions, many friends, many meetings will come. You've been part of that journey, and you know how it happens. So yesterday we woke up and we saw Matiang'i there, we saw Justin Muturi also there. We don't know what next. Probably Dr. Evelyn Ogendo will also be the next one there. So let's she can stand back. All right.
So the next speaker will see Daktari there. No problem.
Who knows? Who knows?
Amen.
The Cerelac babies numbers will expand.
So let's talk about this. We are headed towards the next finance bill. The cabinet actually okayed the budget of 2025-2026 yesterday during cabinet meeting, but basically it's the second time the government is taking the austerity measures to cut that. And ministers say that the bill focuses on closing loopholes and enhancing efficiency. Dr. as we are here, that it is the second time that the estimates are being revised downwards, but still the common mwananchi would say there is little effect to that. Yes, it's been slashed somehow,
Yeah.
but the cry of cost of living is still getting louder and louder.
According to me, it's not even the slashing. There's a way they reduce the travels
Yes.
for the ministers and members of parliament.
Now that's the austerity measures
I
now.
don't think, yeah, I don't think, I don't think that's the main problem. The problem is mismanagement of collected funds. That's where the loopholes are. In fact, if there can be systems or policies that can safeguard money that has been collected in the form of tax, you will get that all other things will take place.
Yes.
The trips will take place, there will be lower cost of living. So these loopholes, I think, it's just the elephant in the house. It's not even the reduction, even the slashing of whatever budgets that is trying to do it. Like I saw the debate yesterday that they were debating in Parliament about the NGAF money, which falls in the woman rep seats. According to me, first, my urge and my request and my humble prayer is, when are we going to achieve in the 1/3, 2/3 gender rule? Look at this woman rep seat. Is it really supposed to destroy a woman, or is it supposed to empower women and those who are vulnerable in the society? In the sense that when you want to remove, let's say for example, you want to remove the budget for the NGAF, and you have said you'd like to empower women. Now, I think that is double speech in the sense that, is the woman rep going to office to earn a salary? It's a no. The only thing is, how can these funds be managed? How can they initiate policies that are geared towards protecting the expenditure and the allocation of these funds so that they can be followed in a manner that anybody understands of the usage? Because I think, according to me, the biggest problem we have, and I wish the president can just take it up, it is that the funds are being mismanaged.
Yeah.
The funds are being mismanaged. If the loopholes can be number one in the agenda, you will see that it's not going to slash these budgets. Even the ministers and the members of parliament will still be doing their trips. The tea that was being taken by civil servants will still be reinforced. The services they were enjoying in the office, the newspapers, everything that was taken away in the name of trying to save some money, there's no difference. You say you reduce the trips, then what is the difference?
Yeah.
Because what Kenyans are looking at, what is going to reduce the cost of living? You know, you live day in, day out. Every second you are living. If you are sleeping in some house that you need to pay. You are using beddings that you put. You know, everything, the cost of living, if there's anything that can affect the cost of living, can bring it down, or can make it manageable, it's by first identifying the loopholes. The loopholes. Are the funds being managed? Because I think the bigger percentage of Kenyans, they are honestly paying their tax. But if we decide that those apparently who are supposed to, like the affirmative fund, that it's the one you want to scrape, even the CDF should not be scraped. The only thing is to be managed, the funds should be managed in a better way through initiating policies that create more understanding of these funds and the allocation. Is it doing what they were allocated?
Okay, Wakili, still on this, the budget itself is meant to, the way Dr. says, to seal the loopholes and also enhancing efficiency in expenditure, including addressing gaps related to tax expenditure that have been historically been exploited to siphon funds from public coffers. Number two, it's also meant to minimize tax-raising measures. So which means the common mwananchi is somewhat getting that reprieve, that you're going to seal the loopholes where, according to her, or actually according to the bill itself, to seal the loopholes and find ways of getting that money to useful purposes, where it's, austerity measures, for example, cutting of the traveling costs, but then now the common Mwananchi is cushioned from high taxes.
Thank you so much. One of the principles of good taxation is certainty. And that is something that we have missed over and over again. There have been introductions of new taxes after introductions without really thorough scrutiny of how the previous tax that was introduced in a given financial year performed. And that has led one to duplicity of taxes. You find that one tax is collected more than once with different agencies. Number two, we must also appreciate that under Article 10 of the Constitution, there is one of the values which is sustainable development. When we get to the point of collecting taxes vis-a-vis developments, we must look at what we need, what is urgent, and what can be achieved within a particular duration. We have been trying to choke Kenyans with so many taxes in the past, trying to bring so many developments, which some are not sustainable, left midway, and in the end, we injure the same person we want to collect taxes from. Like right now, one of the major frustrations, and you've heard of it, is that the pay slip is choking. There are deductions after deductions after deductions. And one of those unfortunate deductions that I have never supported is the housing levy. Because you collect that money, that is the previous finance bill of 2023. You collect that money, then you are told you'll own a house. The criteria of getting those houses are not very clear. But then this house, you are to pay it for almost 15 to 20 years to get a bed-sitter or to get a one-bedroom. That is unsustainable, even for the check. I mean, even for the pay slip. But again, this government is live to the intricacies of last year, June 2024. And they want to do it right. That is why there are so many austerity measures that have been introduced. But with or without austerity measures, like Daktari rightfully put it, our focus is not in giving taxes. Our main focus is on accounting for these taxes. We should not be collecting taxes to end up in individuals' pockets, to end up in very unquestionable projects with unquestionable procedures that end up being taken to court, eating up the taxpayers' money, and they are eventually declared unconstitutional. The other thing that we also need to look at in this new dispensation, the 2025 finance bill, is the role of the members of parliament should be clearly delineated from that of the executive. They should be seen as representatives of the people. They should be seen as legislators. They should be seen as individuals who provide oversight. Because part of the reasons we went to the streets last year, it was because those we entrusted with the responsibility of protecting our interests in government, or by checking the executive, ended up rubber stamping what the executive actually had provided without any consideration of the views of the electorates. So we want to see the public participation, how it will be conducted, whether those sentiments in the public participation will be taken into effect. We want to see objective discussions around this finance bill 2025, so that we do not get back to where we were last time. Having said all that, I would want to just make this point very clear, that we are not against taxation, because that is one of the major ways through which government raises money to implement developments, for the electorates. We are against the usage of this finance, for this money, the prudent use of finance. Let's not get the duplicity of funding. For example, you saw what happened during the NGCDF.
Yeah.
One thing has been funded 3 times. There is the emergency that is funded under the National Contingency Fund. There is the CDF, the constituency, the county emergency fund. Then there is the other 5% unallocated under the NGCDF that is now impugned. So we must get to do away with those unnecessary expenditures so that we remain focused with a development that is sustainable under the current dispensation.
Okay. Mwalimu, when you look at the government, it says that it could slash the budget for the year 2025-2026, and that is from 4.263 trillion. And when it comes down, then it would mean, what does this really show? When you look at the economy, what does that really show? Even as the cabinet also trying to talk of the expenditure cuts, work on the issue with increased revenue collection and enhanced tax compliances.
Kenyans should laud the president and the cabinet and government for coming up with a budget that does not add any additional burden on them, whether it's on taxes.
Yes.
I think this is good news.
Because basically, what does it really mean?
What it means...
to the common mwananchi,
To the common mwananchi, it means they are not bearing any additional liability. There will be no additional taxes on them whatsoever. That is the message of the new on the new finance bill. And the budget remains 4.2 trillion. And what government is doing and what the budget has proposed is that continued austerity measures across government to avoid wastage. And that will still avail money for the same programs that are required. 1, 2, reviewing the tax policies and further calibrating it, and then 3, ensuring that there are no tax evasions and there are no wastage. So really, this is tightening the management system of the fiscal space of our economy. And this is not born from the blue. This is expert advice from those working at the Treasury. And here, I would like to laud Honorable John Badi, the CS Treasury. He has come out to engage the public, to explain and to drive public consultations and even to propose alternatives that are not going to burden Kenyans. And this is a good thing for the country. And we must run a disciplined economy, that we plan a budget and we plan a finance bill that does not add additional taxes to the people. They already have enough. And I beg to disagree with my learned brother here. The housing levy is not a contributory to benefit you. It is born out of what we call social solidarity. Those on payroll will pay. It is actually as a tax because you don't follow. It doesn't revert back to you as a benefit, so that government can build homes in perpetuity forever. And if you look at the session of paper number 10 of Tom Boyer, there are a lot of social programs came up. The NSSF, the pension scheme, which was also collapsing with low contributions, that was revised so that it can be sustainable and can meet the pension needs of workers who are retiring. The NHIF, which was only exclusive to those in employment, is now opened. It's UHC.
Yeah.
That was started, the 2 programs were started in 1966. And the housing program and the law is there was supposed to be implemented from 1967, which never was. But nevertheless, it has been implemented. And anybody being on the payroll, whether in public or in private, will be taxed on housing levy. And governments going into the future will deliver housing as mandatorily. And if you look at the master plan, it is going to be domiciled in the 290 constituencies. So that then it's a national program that will grow into a big model going into the future. So it is not a contribution that is not sustainable. That is now a stream of revenue. And I would like to say the deductions on the payslips of workers, particularly those in the public service, were compensated by an offer of 10%. That covered any deduction, whether it's teachers or civil servants. That is one. Two, in circles of CBA, because I need to educate, and I hope he's going to be a labor lawyer or a judge in the industrial code. In the industrial code, when deductions during the period of implementation of a CBA or when a CBA in force, when deductions are made on the payslip, it becomes one of the items of justification for demands when calculating for new salary points in a new CBA. So any deduction that workers might have suffered, either in public employers, public sector and private sector, will be remedied in the process of CBA reviews. And that is a work of unions and employers. And I think government is alive to that, and the CBAs that the government will be engaging going into the future will factor these deductions in what you call compensation.
That is going to confuse me a bit. Yes. He has said something a bit very confusing. I'm sure even the viewers, they're a bit more confused. I would like to, maybe you can confuse me, because in the sense that, are you saying that those employed are paying house levy as a contribution to the government, and they have no benefit from that collection because the government is building houses for who? Who is going to be the beneficiary of those houses? So are they contributing? I've not finished my question. So what I like him to clarify on what he has said about the housing levy. Are Kenyans contributing, those ones who are employed, as a contribution to development of a country, or are they do not stand to benefit anything from the housing levy? They are being deducted from their pay slips too. Who is going to live in those houses? And what criteria will be used to these civil servants? Let's say they have retired. They have funded a project by the government, and I'm sure maybe most of them, by the time they are retiring, they will not be, the current president will not be in power. By the time most of the civil servants and all other employed who are paying house levy, they will not have the current president in power. So how are they going to benefit from that?
Can you
let me reply?
In 1 minute, in 1 minute.
When you have a whole PhD holder who does not understand the housing model, then it becomes a problem, and including even my learned friend here. The deductions on the payslips of workers is not meant to entitle you to a house.
In a nutshell, kindly.
It is a tax that is going to facilitate in perpetuity, and it is not time-bound. The housing is not time-bound to the term of the president. It will go on for as long as this country exists for building houses. The right to own a home, Kenyans, all Kenyans, will apply on equal footing, and the houses will be categorized. I don't want to conduct a civic education on those who benefit are Kenyans, but the contribution, it will be factored on those in employment. That's a fact.
I'm going to treat that as a closing remark. Wakili.
A tax, one of the principles of taxation is that it should be simple to understand.
Yeah.
You see how my good friend,
complex.
Honorable Sossion, is trying to explain, because he knows the truth, and he knows that it is...
what is the truth?
The truth is that that was not necessary. it was
Yeah.
not unnecessary.
No, that is
tax.
your opinion. The truth is necessary is perpetual.
It's rather
It is here to
oppressive.
stay.
It's
It is here to
All right.
stay.
Your closing remark.
My closing remarks.
Right.
Anything noble, anything good must be done within the confines of the Constitution. However good it appears on paper, in words, if it's against the Constitution, then it is an illegality.
Thank you.
That is something that our members of parliament should know. That is something that the public should know. That is something that the president should know, and that all of us should know.
Peter Wasaga, allow me to cut you short there, if you don't mind. Okay, you know, it's always good, you know what I say, meet Karumo. You know what I mean? It's always sweet when it's coming to an end. You know, when it's always coming to an end, it becomes sweeter. It becomes sweeter. But I need to thank you because we have got so many things lined up, of course, for the viewers. But then, Daktari, you, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
30
Me, what I
seconds.
would say, it's not about the budget cut. It's
Okay.
about our president
Thank you.
making it as a main agenda
Thank you.
to look at the management of funds that are collected in terms of tax.
Yes.
And I would also like Wakili has rightfully said, some clarity on these taxations. Let them be clear. Let Parliament, the National Assembly, achieve the 1/3, 2/3 gender rule.
Okay.
Please don't scrape
Thank you.
the GAF. Don't scrape the CDF.
Asante sana. Wilson Sosion, who is a former nominated member of parliament and NATSEC Gen. Asante sana for coming. Dr. Evelyn Ogendo, the only lady in the today, not in the middle, on the farthest end. She's a political analyst. Asante sana. And Wakili Peter Wasaga, an advocate of the High Court. Asante sana for coming to the show. All right.
Thank you so much.
That's why we take a break. And my name is Victor Lo, but Vivian is coming up next with more. Please stay tuned. Have a good morning.